Avast me hearties! It's time for a seafaring battle to claim Monkey Island. Where be your cannons?
I can't find any cannons, but I brought some monkeys!
Are you okay? This is a snap review for Pirate Blast Battle for Monkey Island.
This is a fast-paced, silly card game for 2 to 4 players, ages 8 and up. Pirate Blast was created by Little Darling Games. We reviewed their game Race to Stupid last year.
So let's talk about the art in Pirate Blast. Race to Stupid had basically no art in it at all, so what about this game?
Since Pirate Blast is intended for a younger audience, there's plenty of colorful characters here. Monkeys, parrots, dolphins, they're all presented as friendly, boldly colored illustrations with no text anywhere on the cards.
Although the contents of each player's deck are identical, they're color-coded to make it easier to set up and get started. We actually have 2 versions here. We have the standard box, with decks in red, blue, green, and black, and we have the tropical edition with orange, purple, yellow, and light green.
Every player gets their own 5-card ship, with 2 options for sail patterns. This is helpful if a skull and crossbones is too scary. But either way, the sails on the boats match the player colors. So enough about the art, let's talk about how you play the game.
Pirate Blast is all about lobbing cannonballs at your opponents and being the last ship afloat. Each player sets up their ship and shuffles their own deck of cards.
Players take turns clockwise, flipping the top card off their personal deck.
If it's a cannonball, place it on another player's ship wherever you want to. A monkey can grab a cannonball and throw it at someone else.
Dolphins can carry away a single cannonball from your waterline. Parrots hang on the mast and can block a single cannonball aimed at you. Bananas distract monkeys.
Coconuts knock parrots off their path.
Some cards just put even more randomness into the game.
The bottle of rum makes you discard off the top of your deck. The octopus lets you steal off the top of everyone else's deck, and the pelican lets you swoop in and immediately use a card from the discard pile.
If your ship is covered in cannonballs at the beginning of your turn, you can flip 1 more card off your deck. If it's a monkey or a dolphin, they take away a cannonball and you stay alive. Otherwise, you're out of the game.
The game usually ends when only one player's ship is still afloat. There are still 2 or more players left when the cards run out, then whoever has the least damaged ship wins.
So, Andrew, what did we expect from this silly little game, Pirate Blast?
Well, we expected it to be a kid-friendly game that pretty much anybody could play. It takes 2 minutes to learn, maybe, and usually less than 10 minutes to actually play the game.
It seemed like the kind of game that's mostly about having fun together and being silly, because the gameplay itself is mostly luck.
Yeah. But there were some surprises with this one. Do you want to talk about that?
Sure. Keeping the cards completely text-free is both good and bad. There are 9 different card types that you might flip off your deck, and that's just enough to make it tough for adults to remember what they all do.
Can't remember anything anymore. There's a lot of randomness in the game, too. About half the cards you flip might give you a meaningful choice, usually where to send a cannonball. And in a 2-player game, there really aren't any good choices at all. Honestly, for me, the surprise was that there actually might be some strategic decisions as long as you're playing with more than 2 players. If you can remember what other players have flipped, you might put a cannonball on the waterline because you know they don't have any dolphins left. Or you might pick a player's boat to put a banana on because you haven't seen their monkeys yet.
Given that you end the game with a big central discard pile, I expected cleanup to be a pain. But here I was pleasantly surprised. The colored player decks really make a difference. Simply flip all the cards over, and then it's really simple to sort them out by player color.
The colors in the Tropical Edition were kind of samey, so I would recommend sticking with the regular edition unless you really want a second set of colors for more people to play.
Which does lead us to one last point. You can combine the 2 sets if you want to support more than 4 players. You could even use 2 of the regular box.
So Anitra, do we recommend Pirate Blast?
Pirate Blast is a fun game for kids to play. It's fast-paced and a little silly, and since so much of it is luck, younger kids will still have a really good chance of winning against older siblings or parents.
I'd say that Pirate Blast is best for ages 6 to 10, while providing some entertainment for the rest of us. At 4 players, cannonball cards bounce back and forth across the table a lot, but players rarely get knocked out early, and games still stay short.
This really isn't a game for your strategic gamers, but it's not supposed to be.
So what are we going to rate Pirate Blast Battle for Monkey Island?
We're going to give it 2.5 cannonballs out of 5.
And that's Pirate Blast.
In a snap.
Did you know that the Family Gamers has a weekly podcast? Oh, and over 500 reviews on our website. Check it out at thefamilygamers.com.
Hey, Anitra,
Yeah?
what's a pirate's favorite letter?
I've heard this one. It's R.
Ah, pirates do love the R, but their first love is the C.